All right, it's your boy Spank Dog, aka Puffinstein at YouTube. Like, comment, share, subscribe. You already know. Let's get into it. First of all, rest in peace to Finny the Legend and his wife Bubbly. There was an incident, I believe it was on the Las Vegas Strip, and he and his wife were unalived. It's sad. I don't know the details, but they said that he and the guy were going back and forth for like a year. Before I say anything, let's watch the video.
Hello, guys and gals. Would you ever shoot somebody in the head over a copyright strike on YouTube? You know, if I flashbanged you just now, it's because I saw something last night that actually just like blew my mind. I'm still actually trying to process what I've seen. Now, I've tussled with a few personalities on this platform. I've had my arguments. I've had my fair share. I've covered things like false copyright strikes. You know what I mean? Like when we talked about things like quantum TV. That was a goofy situation. Haha, let's kind of laugh at the stupidity of this one person who is blatantly abusing the copyright system. Well, today I want to talk about a copyright troll that apparently not only lost a copyright dispute on YouTube, but in order to resolve it, allegedly shoots the guy that he was copyright striking and his wife. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me start off, okay? Last night on Sunday, in the beautiful city of Las Vegas, in the state of Nevada, in the country of the United States of America, there was people walking around the Bellagio Casino. Now, if you've never been to the Bellagio Hotel Casino, beautiful place, right kind of at the center of the ritzy side of the actual Las Vegas Strip. Where people go and they gamble their money away and they have a good time and they get drunk on the streets. Yeah, there was a clip where, this person was just minding his own business, him and his wife, all right? And they just end up getting shot in the head. So in this clip, a YouTuber known as Finny the Legend, yes, Finny the Legend was just minding his own business with his wife and gets shot right in the head. Now, I'm obviously not going to show you the clip of this happening. I'm not even going to bring this up. I'm not going to present what happened. But I saw this happen last night, and I was genuinely very blown away. Now, in the clip, this 4-foot tall Ewok walks into the entire clip and decides to fire a few rounds into Finny the Legend. And the thing about
You can see the guy in the background. Finny the Legend's got his when he's sticking his face inside the camera angle. If you look in the background, you see a Hispanic-looking guy with sunglasses and a hat. I don't understand how you could justify what took place.
What this is he does this while the guy is live streaming, and turns out this man is also a pretty prominent YouTuber in that IRL daily live streaming space. So I decided to look further into it, and obviously Finny the Legend is a man that has, or used to have,
Finny the Legend was getting paid off for YouTube, and I don't mean paid in the sense he was crushing it, making 10,000. I'm just saying he was making some sort of salary from YouTube. People did know him, just like he said.
4,000 subscribers on the internet. And a year ago, there was one video posted. Look at what Sin City family, P. Manny and Julie, did to me. The copyright video. Remember, this is a whole year ago. And the thing about it is, this is also beef that's been kind of long-standing. You probably didn't hear about it because it definitely flew way underneath the radar. So a lot of these videos are just kind of edited together with CapCut or some mobile application or something. And it's just these people having beefs. So you can see right over here, Finny actually won. And he actually did manage to counter-notify, and his videos ended up actually being restored.
And the videos I do, they're transformative enough. It's to the point where if the person don't like the other person, even if they don't have a warranted claim, they'll still file the copyright claim just to try to scare the individual or troll them, whatever.
If you look closely, Finny the Legend received that copyright removal request for his video. And again, the video title here was "Who Said My Channel Going Away? TMC." Video title: P. Manny Nobody Likes a Liar. You didn't get any my super chats. Stupid. So yeah, this is all just beef between two entertainers showing us about the IRL worlds of Las Vegas. Now, the thing about all of this is Finny actually wasn't completely innocent from antagonizing his attacker. Not saying that, anytime anything on YouTube is deserving of what had happened to him, but, you look through
I know he's right that it doesn't warrant what happened,
the old live stream records, and, anytime you find these videos on SCF, which is the Sin City family, this is just constant A-logging, constant just, videos on, on this person. He's just constantly going at him, right? SCF deletes streams using N-word, lies about it. So this guy is just constantly clipping this dude, sharing this stuff around, and it's getting watched by like thousands of people. Like, this is just some micro warfare that's happening on the internet. And
you see it sometimes. I've seen channels where every video they do is on a person they don't like or a channel they don't like. The person that does the commentary sometimes is hilarious.
Obviously, all of this eventually culminated in the guy that he's calling out actually showing up and putting him down for good. But yeah, this beef, as you can see, was pretty long-standing. Literally, if you look into the live section, where, again, these people are out there streaming, and they're pretty popular on the streaming space, too. Obviously, if you look at the For You section, because I'm looking into it, he's just exposing the Sin City guy. So it's just like long-standing internet beef. So ultimately, in the end, as I showed you earlier in that clip, Manny Wise comes in. Now, YouTube has since shut down Sin City's channel, which shouldn't become a shock to anybody because,
I got into a back and forth with somebody the other day or whatever, and I ended up unfriending the person, blocking them, whatever. That's in the best interest of both parties. It's not that serious. Never once did I think about going to where that person was and doing something that extreme.
When you're allegedly, and I say allegedly because this person has not been tried in a court of law, when you're out there committing what allegedly are some pretty serious crimes like double homicide, okay, YouTube's probably going to jump in, and they don't just shut down your channel to delete the evidence. They shut down your channel, and then they probably work with local law enforcement to make sure that all the evidence that you ever gave this platform is provided right to them. So immediately I went to the good old Wayback Machine, and back from December 23rd, 2024, you can see that Sin City, or Manny Wise, on this channel has like 13,000 subscribers. So it's literally like a daily live streamer. The guy had like
13,000 people. He's not Abba and Preach, but he's got 13,000 people signing up to watch his channel. That's not nothing to sneeze at, but it's not major neither. You got people watching you, you know what I'm saying? Like, he had something going. I don't think he should have thrown it all away because he couldn't stand this dude, you know what I'm saying?
179 people watching. All right, and again, they actually had a whole network of channels, okay? So the guy would just walk around and explore Las Vegas, and that would just be like the entire story over here, okay? But what had happened was, with enough internet beef and enough controversy between these two characters, it ended up with Manny Wise deciding to stop doing the rap game, which apparently Manny is in fact a rapper, or at least they...
Let me hit the thumbs up. This is from Some Ordinary Gamers channel. Big shout out to Some Ordinary Gamers.
They used to. Can't unfortunately, because of the alleged crimes here, I can't really listen to anything over here. So, the guy decides to allegedly go out and shoot two people. It's crazy shit. It's actually the craziest thing that I've ever seen on the internet in quite a long time. Now, you may be wondering, but Muda, are the cops actually involved in this situation? Yes, the cops did actually get involved. In fact, very quickly, because it most definitely happened at the goddamn Bellagio, right? One of the biggest, populated areas on the Strip. Las Vegas Metro Police jump in, and they actually booked what appears to be a 41-year-old dumb fuck known as Manuel Ruiz, who, just decided to surrender to the actual cops, okay? He surrendered himself, and now he's facing a pretty lengthy time, if he's tried, and is guilty, in a goddamn prison cell. Now, I'm not a lawyer.
I mean, the way it went down, if I was a prosecutor, I'd be like, can I get that slam dunk? You just never know. But why toss your life away just because you're getting into a back and forth with somebody, like it ain't worth it. On some real shit out there, man. Yo, people, it ain't worth it, man. Let that anger go, man. Like literally over on some, I can't stand this dude. I hate this dude. And you go with your emotions. Next thing you know, you're doing 45 to life.
Or anything. But what I've seen on camera, the dumbest, like, it's crazy because I've covered stupid people like Johnny Somali, Vitali, and all these other stupid IRL streamers and dumb fucks. But I've never seen somebody actually kill someone on camera, on YouTube Live of all places, right? Like an obscure platform. But unfortunately, this is like the extent of what happens when like YouTube beef gets way too far. So when you're looking at like good old Manny, he's probably looking at, the idea of this being premeditated, because obviously if this is something that's been brewing over like what appears to be a year, yeah, no shit, it's a premeditated hit. At least that's what I think, in my opinion. Again, I'm not a goddamn lawyer. Then, of course, you've got obviously reckless endangerment, because discharging a firearm in the public is clear and reckless, endangerment of everyone around you. And I would probably have to imagine, I would wager my left nut that the gun wasn't even like lawfully possessed. Because does Manny look like the kind of guy to get a goddamn like proper licensing for his gun? I don't think so.
To be honest with you, when you go to register for a firearm in some states, they probably give it to people that they shouldn't.
You've probably got other things like the murder charges. I mean, that's the biggest piece, right? Which is again a alleged double homicide of a 4,000 sub YouTuber, and unfortunately, what appeared to be his wife. Like everything that I've seen about these two people.
Like you had the back and forth with Finny the Legend, and that still didn't constitute what happened. But then to take his wife too over the situation is just.
People seemed like they were okay, pretty nice individuals. And Manny just couldn't take the internet banter, and Manny couldn't appear to at least take the fact that his copyright trolling wasn't necessarily shutting down his biggest critics. There's a lot of people that criticize me on the internet, and there's ranges. Like there's people that are like, I fucking hate you, Muda, but it is what it is, and I slightly dislike you, Muda. And none of those people have ever driven me to like, ever considering.
That shit is dirt off your shoulders. You're not supposed to pay no attention to that. I'm not going to act like I can't, because I just said that I got into a back and forth with somebody and that we're no longer friends. You know what I'm saying? And I blocked them, and I said it's, in both our best interests. But you see, I'm trying to take the mature route. I'm trying to take the adult route. I'm trying to take the high road. No way in the world what happened between me and that kid. We talk real spicy on some. It got a little, you know what I mean? But that it doesn't warrant taking the person's life. And then on top of that, taking his wife's life was pretty innocent. She might have that's her husband. Of course, she's going to co-sign what he says, I don't know if she ever co-signed something on live where Manny could see it. But, like I said, it's still not that serious. Nobody could ever tell me that it's that serious. It should not have happened. One person that was engaged in a back and forth online is gone. And then another person had caught feelings over what the guy was doing to the point where he took his life. And now he's incarcerated for the rest of his life, maybe.
You know what? I'm gonna lock and load, and I'm just gonna head on over and just go to town. Like I'm just gonna go squad wipe my biggest critics. No, actually, I saw it amongst the stupidest IRL Vegas live streamers. One specifically that goes out of his way to just straight up allegedly shoot the people they're beefing with. Now it's funny because you kind of look at Finny.
Yeah, he's innocent until proven guilty. It's alleged until then.
His channel, and like 9 months ago, he's just out there like exposing this guy, right? Chulo coming to the stage to tell the truth on Hood. Now, there's also been talk that Manny may have potentially been a live stream scammer, which I think was kind of the catalyst for what really prompted Finny to basically become his biggest online enemy. Now, again, to verify the validity, unfortunately, I don't really have access to Manny's archive of content since YouTube's taken it down, and he wasn't a prominent YouTuber enough for me to really verify how valid a lot of these scams were. And I think the scams were really relegated around like maybe scamming super chat donations, which I think is pretty much what I kind kind of got out of it. But yeah, Finny was basically logging in. He was his biggest like archiver, right? And let's just be real with you. This Manny guy just couldn't take it, and he does something stupid. He shoots two innocent people. No matter what kind of beef you have over the internet,
I would have not have reacted, and people be like, "Oh, it's easy to say that." No, you're not gonna make react over certain things. There's no way in the world I would just remove you from my site, from my channel, from whatever.
you should never escalate it to the point that a gun is brought in and you take somebody's life. That's just very obvious. Now, of course, obviously, look, at the end of the day, this should never have happened. It's an incredibly insane level of petty beef that got, a man and his wife killed over internet nonsense. Now, for Manny, Sin City, all right, this is a guy that
I used to hang out on a strip, and it's crazy because, they're on the Las Vegas Strip, but I used to hang out on a strip on Myrtle Avenue, and I've seen the craziest stuff pop off over the most. I've seen somebody bump into somebody, the person spin around drunk, start to back up, and you already know where I'm going with it. People doing stupid stuff for small reasons is nothing new to me. There's never a shortage of stories where somebody does something stupid
that kind of had a good thing going. You had a whole channel. You had the super chats rolling in. And obviously, look, the more popular you're going to get. Look, these guys were sitting at tens of thousands of subscribers. I'm sure there's probably 2 or 3 comments that come in, and you'll probably end up getting an A-logger or a hater here and there. But I'm somebody that sits at 3+ million subscribers, and I'll tell you right now, okay, I've had haters and people since my channel has begun, okay? And sometimes it can get to you, right? We're all goddamn humans. But it should never get to the point that you actually act out in homicide, okay? Because thankfully, at least for Sin City Manny, even though that he's killed 2 people, I really hope the legal system puts him away behind bars. Probably, I think, for life at this point, because this is a double homicide. But yeah, it's a pretty tragic case of YouTube beef.
So that's pretty much it, in a nutshell. Is it worth taking somebody's life over because you're going back and forth with them over YouTube stuff? Of course not. Can you get caught off guard with a curveball and the person get under your skin and you might do something you wish you hadn't? Yeah, but this is to a certain extreme, and I would understand maybe a 16, 17-year-old, doing something and somebody trying to make an excuse for that person. But this is different. I'm different from the guy that I just reacted to. I hold my tongue when it comes to saying I hope this person ends up in jail or whatever. But I'm not mad at that man for saying it. It's, you know what I mean? We come from different places, so we think differently. He's not my clone. He's not supposed to, with me, I just, I won't talk about wanting another man to be behind bars or talk about that he's going to have a hard time there. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? But I can understand a person being angry at that person for doing what he did. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, we too much out here. You know what I'm saying? That tough guy stuff, all this crazy stuff. People got to learn how to let it go and not be vicious, not be mean, not be hateful. I've seen a lot of vicious people get treated bad because people don't want to be around a person that's miserable, that's mean, that's a bully, that's a hater. And I've seen vicious people eventually turn into the kind of person that wants people to be their friend, but nobody wants to be around them because they're that mean. You know what I'm saying? And we got to learn how to love each other, bro. That's it. Real shit. You know what I'm saying? People don't want to say it. People don't want to look soft, but at the end of it all, it's about peace, love, helping each other, sheltering each other. I don't understand how certain people don't want to help other people. Definitely not taking somebody's life over a YouTube argument. I'm gonna leave it at that, man. You already know what's up with me, man. Much love. It's your boy Spank Dog. Peace.